What's going on, guys? It's Mike for SimRacing604 and welcome back to Assetto Corsa for PC. In this hopefully short video, I'm aiming to answer two questions I see frequently popping up in YouTube comments and Discord threads between the Racing Studio Formula Americas and the Virtual Racing Cars Formula North America 2021. What is the best current gen Indycar mod for Assetto Corsa? And also between the three LMP1 offerings from Virtual Racing Cars, what is the best LMP mod and how do they compare to the Kunos offerings? And standard disclaimer, I'm not an IndyCar driver, nor has my phone ever rang to come join a Le Mans LMP team, so please treat my findings and opinions as those of an average sim racer rather than somebody qualified to grade and appreciate the finer nuances and full capabilities of these cars. So we'll start with the Indy cars, and again we have the Formula Americas from Race Sim Studio battling it out against the Formula NA 2021 from Virtual Racing Cars, and this was actually a very interesting comparison for me. There are two very distinct driving styles needed to extract the speed out of these two cars. The NA 2021 demands precision. If your lines are smooth and your throttle and brake application are careful, this is definitely the faster of the two offerings. The Americas, on the other hand, can basically take whatever you care to throw at it. The former tends to understeer when you push past the limit, whereas the latter tends to oversteer and is much more forgiving when you do so. Both look and sound great, and I'd call the visuals and detailing a tie, though there are more third-party skins on offer for the Americas given its age, and the sounds are close, but my personal preference is the more aggressive onboard sounds of the NA 2021, but the Americas external sounds hit a perfect note in my opinion and sounds slightly more accurate to real life than the NA. The NA does come with three versions though, the road, short oval, and oval versions, whereas the Americas has the road and oval versions only. The costs are similar at €3.30 for the NA and €3.80 for the Americas. So my verdict, well, you won't go wrong with either. Both are a blast. I find the Americas more forgiving to drive, but if you're more highly skilled, you might get more out of the NA 2021. Which will I drive going forward personally? Probably the NA from Virtual Racing Cars for the challenge and my preference for its onboard sounds, but again, you're not going wrong with either. If you're new to sim racing or don't have much experience with Indy cars, which are more demanding than the ever popular F1 cars in sim racing, go for the Americas. If you want to challenge your driving skills more, go for the NA 2021. And now moving on to the LMP cars, and just to catch you up, Virtual Racing Cars has now released three LMP cars that are part of this shootout: the Bicolin, the Vendetta, and the Ravenga. Based on the Bicol P1, Ginetta G60, and the Rebellion R13 respectively. They join the Audi R18, Porsche 919, and the Toyota TS040 from Kunos. My testing was done at Le Mans, and unlike the IndyCar comparison, there was a massive disparity between the various cars. It's important to note here that the Kunos LMP cars are all using hybrid powertrain systems. These systems need to be managed, and it's a struggle to get any of the Kunos cars around Circuit de la Sarthe with hybrid power lasting the entire lap. The Virtual Racing Cars, however, don't use the hybrid power, so you can just jump in and go. And while I love the technology and capabilities of hybrid systems in real-life LMP cars, it unfortunately doesn't translate well to the Kunos LMP cars for me. On shorter tracks, the hybrid systems can be pushed hard, and cars like the 919 can be driven unbelievably fast around most tracks, but the runs at Le Mans really force you to scale back the electric power or run without it for part of the lap. But back to the core of this video, and question 1 of 2 regarding the LMPs: how do the Virtual Racing Cars mods stack up against the Kunos cars? I can comfortably say that they are as good or better than their Kunos counterparts in many ways. The visuals, sounds, and drivability are all excellent, on point. The Ravenga and the Vendetta both outpaced all three Kunos cars for me. The Bicolin was right in the mix with Kunos cars, so if you want to buy one Virtual Racing Cars mod and you intend to run it with the Kunos LMP1 cars, get the Bicolin. The Vendetta and the Ravenga are faster than the other cars by quite a bit for me, even on the default setup. And have a look at these times, and yes, these are way off the real world qualifying times. It's tough for even fast sim racers to break into the teens at this version of Sarthe, so please don't put too much stock into how fast these cars are versus their real life counterparts. But as you can see, there's a massive gap between what I was able to achieve with the fastest lap and the slowest lap in these cars. Even with a bit of setup work, these times didn't change too drastically, so time for my preference among these various mods, and it's hard to pick just one, but in terms of pure driving connection and my ability to place the car around the corners, for me it's the Bicolin, even though it's the slowest by comparison of the three Virtual Racing Cars mods. I connect with this car in a way I do only a handful of other cars in sim racing. Hopefully a balance of performance is forthcoming for these cars, and between the two fastest, the Vendetta and the Revenga, I think I have to go with the Revenga. Both drive similar in that they contrast the smoothness and precision of the Bicolin with a high-speed fight of an experience in cornering, but there's more mid to high range aggression and capability in the Revenga, which give it an advantage not only in lap time but also in the driving experience. That added speed really gets your heart racing and adds a bit to immersion when the speedo seems like it'll never stop climbing. So that's going to do it, guys. Not as short as I had hoped, but hopefully this was helpful. Here are my best laps from testing either class, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.